Hey Chicago, what do you say? Coming at you live on this Sunnyside Summer Thursday. This is the CHGO Cubs postgame show podcast. Head to sunnyside.shop or the nearest Sunnyside cannabis dispensary and use the code HICHGO for 35% off your first order. Right buys every day, only 21 and over or Illinois medical card holders. Welcome to the show. Luke Stuckmeyer, Cody Delmendo, Ryan Herrera, hopefully joining us from beautiful historic Wrigley Field after the game, after he gets some interviews. Kevin Wells running the ones and twos and producing for us.
I don't even know what Ryan could ask these guys right now, to be honest with you.
Are you glad to get out of here?
Yeah, I can't wait for the show to end.
That's what he might ask the players. You guys ready to get out of here and change the scenery, and hopefully that helps. 2-5 homestand.
I feel like how I think the players probably feel right now, or just like Ryan. He has had to sit at beautiful historic Wrigley Field the last 7 games and watch
zero
ass, just straight ass. That's what he's had to watch, and in person. It's different when we get to sit here in this nice air conditioned office, sit on the couch and watch it. He's had to actually sit there and watch it, and I don't even know what you how. What do you ask? It's the same thing. This entire homestand, same thing. No offense, not getting anything going. I don't understand bringing Kyle Hendrickson. There's all kinds of dumb things from not just today, but just this entire homestand in general. Honestly, it's disappointing. I'm not necessarily disappointed you lost this series. It makes me even more mad that you lost the series against the Pirates. But at the same time, it's you lost a series to the Pirates. How do you respond to that? They have not, these last 7 games, or just last 3 series in general, they have not answered adversity. And I understand there's a lot of things that we've used to, I guess a lot of people would take it as leaving excuses, or giving excuses. But in my eyes, I'm not necessarily giving excuses. I'm just speaking reality. But at the same time, this is Major League Baseball, and every team is going through the same type of shit, and this team just it's not answering the call, and that's what's frustrating to me. And over this homestand especially, it's been largely because the offense ain't getting it going. I was willing to give a little bit of leeway the last 2-3 weeks because you didn't have a full healthy roster in terms of the offense, your lineup, but the last 2-3 days, you've had your healthy lineup. This is basically the lineup that you would have had out there on opening day. And, Max Fried yesterday, okay. But today, you got a guy who has 5 career games in Major League Baseball, coming up from AAA.
Who was giving up almost 3 home runs a game at AAA.
This is like me going on a tangent about them not being able to hit Bailey Falter over the weekend against the Pirates. Thank God they won that game. But shit, they won that game 1-0, right? Today, 1-0 again, and I can't be mad at Hayden Wisniewski for giving up a solo shot to Jared Kelenic. And hell, I'm not even really mad at Kyle Hendricks. I'm more mad at Craig Counsell for even putting him in that situation when he hasn't came out of the bullpen. I think Ryan tweeted since July 7th, 2016. You had other options, in my opinion. A lot of your high leverage guys didn't pitch yesterday. It was a 1-0 game. I get not using some of those guys yesterday because of certain situations with the bullpen day today. Sorry again. But I just don't see the positive in bringing a guy in who has struggled this year out of the bullpen for the first time in more than 5 years to come and pitch in a 1-0 game in the 8th inning against what's supposed to be one of the best lineups in baseball. So, I've given a lot of praise to Craig Counsell this year. Today is one where I'm that one doesn't make any sense to me, man.
Well, again, we'll talk more about Hendricks in a second, but I do think obviously the offense is a huge concern. Best way to enjoy the CHGO experience is to subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube page. And the godfather of the CHGO Cubs podcast, Michael Collada, says, how does the whole offense slump at one time? And it does feel that way. You were asking, how does Ryan feel? How do the players feel? I'll tell you exactly what they feel like. They're going in there right now as reporters and players and coaches, and it feels like it's dog days of summer, and they can't get out of a slump. And it's dog days of summer mixed with Groundhog Day. It just keeps happening over, and you're just going in there, and you don't know what to ask, and they don't know what to say for answers, and everybody's cranky and frustrated. You can say the team is mid, but really it's the offense that is sus, right? If you want to put it in the kids' terms.
Sus and mid are basically the same thing, but
yeah, but sus is, to me, sus is a little bit lower.
Sure.
Mid is like, hey, we're in the middle.
If that's what you want to believe.
Yeah, okay. Sus is very sus. Okay, hits, they're 24th in baseball. Average, they're 25th in baseball. Slugging percentage, they're 21st in baseball. Home runs, 18th in baseball.
Is this entering today?
Entering today. Okay. They now have after this game, they now have 48 home runs in 51 games. And they said it in the broadcast, and it's 100% true. When you're getting out-homered, you very rarely are going to win baseball games at the major league level. Now, it helps when your pitching staff is performing the way that they are. When your starters are pitching the way that they are. The way the bullpen is pitched the last couple of weeks. But you got to have thump in today's game. You can't just have guys where you hope to get on base and you grind out at bat. Like, that's all positive stuff, but you have to hit home runs, and you have to hit home runs at Wrigley Field. And their last home run was Miguel Amaya almost a week ago. It'll be a week ago tomorrow. Mm-hmm. You can't go a whole week in Major League Baseball as a team without hitting a home run. Or you know what's going to happen? You're going to go like 2-7.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
I think the Cubs
you can't do that in a week, but you know what I'm saying.
I think they had 13 hits in this series, if I'm not mistaken. If my math is correct, 13 or 14 hits. I think it was
7
13.
of them were in one game.
6 hits in 2 days, and I think one was an extra base hit. Haps double yesterday. I mean, that's never going to get it done. Yeah. And people are going to point to, I already see it in the chat, and I'm on board with this. I don't know why PCA was sent down. He was swinging and putting the ball in play, and he was a weapon, and he was providing spark to the offense. I know he wasn't popping the ball, which is what you really miss right now, like you said, but they need guys who can hit the ball and make things happen on the bases, especially when they're struggling as much as they are. That move it's not as big as the big picture problem, but I have a problem with that move, and I think the Brennan Davis thing that you brought up a couple days ago, it's time to start putting guys in who are swinging the bats, man, because right now Michael Busch is not doing a thing. Ian Happ is starting to get it going here. He's on a 3-game hit streak, so...
And he was the only extra base hit for the Cubs today.
We think Brennan Davis left with an injury yesterday. I haven't seen an update on that yet today, but I think it was Patrick Mooney, former colleague of mine, who said it best in The Athletic. All of those things, I don't disagree with any of them. I said the thing about Brennan Davis before the injury. PCA being sent down, trying to find other guys to get going. Now, I was one that said you could sit Ian Happ. He hasn't been the problem the last couple of days. What Patrick Mooney said is all of those things are true. All those things are important for the Cubs, fixing the bullpen, yada, yada, yada. But if the guys they are paying big money to can't produce offensively, the team is going nowhere except for the middle of baseball. Now, zoom out, and it's okay. They still are on target to be what I said, 500 at Memorial Day. We're almost there. But what he said is also true. Seiya Suzuki is slumping. Who do you want to see come up right now in today's game? Who were you hoping was going to come up when they got a guy on base?
Tauchman.
He's like the only guy you have confidence.
Morel
Morel had some good swings
but
today.
he's been unlucky. He can't seem to buy it.
Morel should have had at least one homer today, but for some reason the ballpark kept it in, and even two Braves outfielders colliding together.
I mean, you don't feel
still
good.
Catch the ball.
You don't feel good at any time when Madrigal comes up. You don't feel good right now when Seiya comes up because he's had. You don't feel good when Nico comes up. Frankly, you don't feel that great when Dansby still comes up, although he hit.
Seiya had 2 hits today. He had a hit in his first at bat, and then of course, like the second one.
But there are swings, and at times he's up there, and you're like, he's not seeing the ball well right now. Like I don't know what's going on.
I would say his at bats today were better than yesterday. That's for sure. And you're right. He has slumped this past week, and honestly, the large part of why the offense hasn't been good on this homestand
hasn't been good either. Wow.
Well,
he's slumping. No, that's another guy. Yeah, I'm sorry.
The reason that the offense has slumped on this homestand is that Seiya and Bellinger didn't really do much of anything. Now, you want to give credit to a lot of the really good pitching they faced. You can. Bellinger is a large reason why they won the game, the one game they won against the Pirates last Saturday, because he got the leadoff double, and then Morel drove him in. If he doesn't get the double, who knows what happens in that game, right? But Seiya and Bellinger, those guys, they were slugging or like at points in the season. They just aren't right now. But at the same time, Luke, how much can I really put on them when they are a large majority of the reason they even have 27 wins right now? How much can I really like? They're going through what every player goes through right now. It's slumping. So like,
but it just is weird. As Godfather was saying, it seems like they're all at the same time.
Right. Well, you like you guys are mentioning, like Michael Busch. I said the other day, like, he's a rookie. Like, you have to take the good and the bad with a rookie, man. Like, you just do. And his at bat in the 8th inning was terrible today. Mm-hmm. But, like, I'm just saying, like, that's what you have to do with rookies.
And it's been a net positive for Busch so far this year. He's struggling with the strikeouts right now. And he whiffs a lot. I mean, he swings and misses a lot. Sure. So a lot of uncompetitive at bats lately, but it's still a net positive. Yeah, you can't put the whole season on a rookie.
For me, with just the entire offense in general right now, like, yeah, you can't go through these stretches where Seiya and Belly are both slumping, right? And again, Seiya had 2 hits today. One of them was because Albies lost the ball. His third at bat, he lined out. So I thought he had better plate appearances today. But yeah, he's got to start driving in runs. He's hitting second in the order for a reason, right? And Bellinger, there was an inning there too where there was a guy on base and he like popped out. Like it hasn't been what we've seen. The only positive offensively that come out of the series is that Ian Happ has extra base hits 3 straight days. That's the only positive. Swanson had a good game the first game of the series. He had another hit today. Like, you feel like the guys who have really been struggling are the ones who are at least starting to at least get some hits. But, like, again, you're not – like, Ian Happ and Dansby Swanson aren't run producers. Like, they can be, but they're not consistent ones. They've never proven to be consistent ones. Your consistent run producers have always been Seiya Suzuki and Cody Bellinger and Christopher Morel.
Those are the 3.
Those are the 3 that have to drive in runs, man. They just do. If they're going to score runs on any kind of consistent basis, those are the 3 guys who have to do it.
I mentioned, the home run thing and said you got to out homer some teams. You have to do that. The beginning of the season when we went into it, one of the big questions was still, does this team have enough thump? Because Jed said it in the offseason, we got to start blowing teams out, yada, yada. They've been in a lot of one-run games. Early in the season, I started to kind of step back. It was a small sample size, but I was like, wait a minute, maybe Jed was right. Maybe they do have enough thump because Seiya, when he came, was hitting home runs. Busch was hitting a lot of home. You're like, oh, wow, you are going to get power from first base. Morel was like, oh, you are going to get power from third base. But when you look at the 3 traditional places to get your power and your main offense from right now, you're not getting anything at first base, you're not getting anything at third base, and you're not getting anything at DH. All 3 have kind of been struggling right now, and that's where most teams traditionally get thump, thump, and thump. And so, and if it's not that, then you have to take one of those away. You say, okay, one of your outfielders is a big banger. One of your guys is Juan Soto. One of your guys is whoever it might be. And right now, Bellinger and Seiya would have to be one of those guys, and neither is doing that either. So
today,
it's just a struggle.
I'm being a little bit harder on the offense today because it's not like you face Max Fried. It's not like you face Chris Sale.
This should have been on.
You didn't face Spencer Strider because he's hurt.
This should have been a get-right game and head out of town.
Yeah, like this is. I feel exactly how I feel today. That on the same day they faced the Pirates and faced Bailey Falter, and they somehow won that game 1-0. And then, ironically, this game most of today was 1-0, except you weren't leading that game, right? Kyle Hendricks. Again, like I said earlier, I don't agree with the idea of bringing him in that situation, but at the end of the day, though, you got to score runs. If the Cubs have a lead in that situation, they probably do go to Leiter or Tyson Miller or
they should have gone
someone.
They should have gone to Tyson Miller. I know we're going to
hold that thought. Let's talk Hendricks and Ben Brown after a quick word from our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. They're here to elevate your summer. Hey, Memorial Day, here we go. The summer starts. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far south as Champaign and as far north as South Beloit. Stop into the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff or select from quality lines like Cresco and Floracal. I'm picking up Mindy Seagull's award-winning chocolates at Sunnyside. You can too by heading to sunnyside.shop, code HICHGO. That's HICHGO at checkout for 35% off brands like Cresco, Good News, and more to elevate your first purchase. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only 21 and older or Illinois medical card holders.
Ooh, I'm going to need some Sunnyside after this last homestand. Might stop on
for the holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Elevate your summer.
Yeah. Because I got to elevate my summer somehow because I ain't winning on the books. But you can win on the books if you just start betting against the Cubs at this point. Do it on Circa. Because they have the best odds, right? They strive to have minus 110 splits on their sports menu, unlike other sports books which use minus 115 or minus 120 splits. Circa Sports keeps as little money as possible on large market bets, especially compared to other books. They don't limit players based on their winnings. Right now, I'm ice cold. I can't win a bet to save my life, so they ain't gonna take away they ain't gonna take any boosts or anything away from me. But if you are red hot, they won't take anything from you because they want you to keep using their book, right? Every player has the same limits unlike other books who do limit winning players. They actually encourage bettors to download and explore all the other sports betting apps available so you can compare the lines from each sports book and see how much better Circas are. And then their customer service is awesome. They don't use chatbots, which is something that I really genuinely hate. All aspects of their app are being run by the same team that runs the main Circa Sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, which I could use a trip to after watching the Cubs this homestand. So download the Circa Sports Illinois app at circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. They are with us for every Cubs Friday 120 Club for Friday home games. Our next one will be next Friday against the Reds. Mm-hmm. So yeah, appreciate their help with us doing this Friday 120 Club all season long. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER, text GAMB to 833-234, or visit areyourreallywinning.com.
Sir Ian Happ provided the power for today's game, presented by Illinois Pork Producers. Savor the flavor, savor the gains, and celebrate any occasion by enjoying the best pork produced by Illinois pig farmers. Ian Happ, the only extra base hit by a Cubs player of the game. He reached with a double, and he reached scoring position twice for the Cubs, which was unheard of in this game. And so we give him the pork power player of the game. I tell you what, Memorial Day, it's all about grilling. Throw some chops on, some nice pork chops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you got going on Memorial Day? What are you grilling?
I don't know if I have any plans yet, but that's as I was
get the smoker
reading
rolling?
that, I was like, ooh, I don't
I
have time for pulled pork, but I do have time for a good pork chop and a little sweet baby Ray's on as a little side there.
I am going down to what I like to call God's country, a.k.a. Bloomington, Normal, Illinois, meeting up with college friends to
grill and thrill.
We're going to grill and thrill.
Yeah.
I'm the only one showing up who isn't married and has a child, but, we're still going to have fun.
They're gonna.
So,
you know what?
We'll be grilling out
Are
and
they all
talking about our lives being married and having kids, except I'm not doing any of that.
They're all bringing their kids with them.
I think they're all bringing their kids.
So here's what's going to happen. Uncle Cody's going to get stuck with like 7 Rugrats, and the other parents are just going to get plastered out of their minds. That's probably what's going to happen at your event.
Probably. But at least we're going to have all kinds of meat because I know we'll be grilling.
That's right.
Any Cardinals fans in your group?
Thankfully not.
I was going to say.
Or I would not be going.
Yeah,
I do like a good
you're venturing south. I don't know.
I do like the good bone-in pork chop.
Oh, it's so good, man.
If you can cook that right, lean cuts of pork, let me tell you. All right, you talked about it before the break, the Kyle Hendricks thing. First relief appearance since 2016. He comes in, it's a 1-0 game, and he goes right out of the gate, single, walk. Then strikeout, RBI single, and a fly out for an RBI. I mean, that was so close to a home run, and then ground out to get out of the inning.
The one strikeout.
Where did it fall apart, though?
Could we just? I think
the strikeout.
You got to the strikeout he got was Ronald Acuna.
Yeah,
like make it make sense to me.
I don't know.
Where does it fall apart? I mean, I did not feel good the moment, even though he got the strikeout. Like Albie's coming up just matches up so well against someone like Hendricks, and it worked.
But when did you know it was bad?
Probably after
not
the
necessarily.
walk.
That's it.
Probably after the walk.
That's when you know he was all. The control was not. The command was not there, and you're
he
like,
had 2
oh,
strikes
boy.
on the guy.
Yeah.
He was ahead in the count by 3 pitches, and the next 3 pitches didn't come close to the zone.
If you watched last night's show, me and Luke sat here, and I said something. I think I said something on the show related to like. Last night should have been the night that they brought Hendricks out of the bullpen just to like get him a little acclimated to just coming out of the bullpen. I know it might look a little disrespectful. You're walking him out here.
But better, I think you're right. Better that than super high leverage 1-0, and you still have 6 outs to try and catch the Braves in a 1-0 game.
I just hate bringing him in. Again, he hasn't came out of the bullpen since July 7th, 2016.
Cody, it was almost as if Craig Counsell was saying, okay, we have 6 outs to try and score a run. That's impossible. So let's try Kyle. Let's try to ease Kyle in here because this game's over at 1-0.
You think he was just?
No, I don't think I'm being facetious, but
you're being sarcastic.
That's how fans seem to look at it. We were like, come on, like I don't know that they're going to score a run, but I know they're not going to score 3.
This is one, like I said, like as much praise as I've given Craig this year, getting this team to still over 500 despite a lot of injuries, a lot of bad play, a lot of guys that have really struggled, including Kyle Hendricks, Albert Alzolay, just being completely falling apart. You're getting, Ian Happ has really struggled. Dansby Swanson has really struggled over the course of the entire year, right? All these things, and you're still above 500. I feel like he deserves a lot of credit for the fact that you're in this position. That said, today I just don't like the decision. I understand that you don't want to use Nearest when you're down 1-0. I understand that Leiter, you use them for lefties, or you want to use them to face lefties. I think Hendricks had to face the 3-batter minimum. If anything, you bring in Leiter to face Albies because that was not a good matchup at all. It was almost like they waved the flag as soon as Albies came up to the plate and Hendricks stayed in the game. That said, like I don't like bringing him in anyway. Tyson Miller, he pitched 2 innings 2 days ago. Like he probably could have pitched today. At the same time, it's tough because you had to use Brown as a starter today. You had to use Wesneski and piggyback. Maybe he could have gone
Hodge would have been going against guys that saw him late last night.
Mm-hmm. Hodge is the only guy where I'm like, considering the situation, why not? Like, even if it goes bad, I would have much rather seen him go through that experience than seeing Kyle Hendricks at this point of how bad he's been this year out there in a 1-0 game in the 8th inning. I would have rather seen a rookie pitcher who just shoved it the night before and come out there and show us what you got, man. Like, that is...
How painful is that to say, though, that's where we are with
painful.
Kyle right now?
I know. Like, this is a lot of my frustration with going into the season to begin with is, okay, the Cubs, they didn't think that this squad was good enough to be a World Series contender, and that's the reason that I feel like they didn't go the extra mile to get that extra starting pitcher or get that extra bat, then they were going to play the young guys. They were going to see what they got, see some of these young pitchers. Like, it's the same thing with PCA that you were talking about. It's the same thing with, you know, some of these other young guys. The amount of times you have to watch Nick Madrigal, you call up Vasquez, you've given him one plate appearance, and now you don't want to use a pitcher who struck out the side last night that you're high on. Like, I don't understand. I understand development and all these, and you want to put guys in situations to succeed, but considering the situation, the fact that it was a bullpen game to begin with, why not Porter Hodge? Why not? Like, let's see what he's got. And if it doesn't go well, then we can sit here and talk about it. But I think we all would have felt better about that and seeing him go through that experience than having to sit here and watch Kyle Hendricks in a 1-0 game in the 8th inning coming out of the bullpen for the first time since July of 2016. I absolutely hate the move by Craig there, and I hope it's the last one that I have to talk about for a really long time.
Hypothetical, and I don't know what my answer is for this, but when we were watching the game, I said I think Hendricks is going to pitch, and I had asked this to the pitch doctor when we were doing our watch along the other day. I said, is there another pitcher you would like to start matching Kyle Hendricks with coming up after because of the difference in pitching? He's like, no, I don't really think so. And I was like, well, Kyle doesn't have the stuff that makes you think he's a good bullpen guy. And I don't think this would have mattered today because the command wasn't there anyways. But I said, ideally, you'd like to put him following somebody who's completely opposite, right? That's kind of just a general rule of thumb for like a generic situation for reliever. If you got a flamethrower, now bring a guy in that's got a great changeup. The guy that throws the hardest on the Cubs right now is Ben Brown. They had the stat on there. Guys throwing 95 and more. He's got like 80% of those pitches that are 95 and over. Would you rather have seen Kyle Hendricks come in immediately after Ben Brown instead of Wesneski and Luke Little? Or would you rather have them wait to see, well, let's see if the game gets out of hand, and then this would be the soft landing situation, which it ended up obviously not being. Yeah. I kind of believe that I think I'd rather see see him come in right after Ben Brown than I would have seen him come in with the game 1-0 later in the game.
Sure. If they were going to bring him into a ball game where it was close, it's certainly going to be earlier in the game than it is in the 8th inning. You know what I mean? That, in general, I agree with you on that. But
is my mic not working?
No, you're up. Your mic is up. I'm not sure why we're getting
people, probably the internet trying to mute me.
Yeah,
I understand it. People, internet trying to mute me.
It says both mics out. I don't know. You guys got levels here, so we'll try and figure this out.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2. James Colstock. 1 2 1 2. Your mic is on.
It was on the whole
Use
time.
the force loop. Mic drop.
Like this just started happening?
I don't know.
Has it been out the whole game? Whole show?
they just sit here and
People
watching
just
us,
commenting?
listening to us.
No, see, they hear something because Wrigley Man says I can never be muted.
Go to
Both out.
here.
Now
Right
Godfather
here.
says they're both out.
Switch to Roadcaster.
How about
Roadcaster
if we-
disappeared. Interesting. It's
Hello?
probably coming from here.
Hello?
Give us a minute here. Give us a second.
Stand by.
Chug it.
What?
Robbie says chug a beer while we wait, Cody.
Right
Turn
there.
it off and back on. Try that. Because it's that's what it is. Like Roadcaster's not appearing.
You can hear the producer. Tell him we're working on it.
Yeah. We somehow our sound deck has been disappeared.
Sound deck.
Sorry, the Roadcaster for those of people in the
Roastcaster
know.
for you professionals out there.
It disappeared from
Do you
our
want me to just all
eCam.
use Kevin's mic? Just swing it around. Swing around.
No, but it's
Face
not
right
that. No, it's not that one. So try this again.
here. Sound tech's figuring this out as we go through the CHGO Comes podcast. Ben Brown, 4 innings.
Hold on.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
No,
4 innings?
Here, let me try something.
Sound tech's figuring this
Yeah, Let me see about.
So here, Law and Kevin.
Yeah,
Easily,
yes.
They're hearing that microphone over there. I say just swing that mic around and make it our common microphone.
Well, but it's coming
the
from
internal
this.
mic, yeah.
So let me quickly ask Joey if he's ever had this happen. Hold on one second.
Check the micro USB.
Either way, I'll keep chatting then, just to base off your Kyle Hendricks point real quick while we're fixing it.
USB in the back of the Roadcaster where it plugs into the back of the computer. Make sure it's all the way in.
The thing you were saying about Kyle, Luke.
Yeah,
would I
you
rather
have
see him in that situation? No, I don't. I wouldn't have put him in the series at all.
Yeah, but that's not. That wasn't the option I was giving you.
Well, that I don't want to see.
We're back up?
Are we good?
We reset.
We back up?
Sweet. Either way, what I was saying was I don't want to see
no,
Kyle Hendricks at all in a series against the Atlanta Braves. This isn't.
Yeah.
And in a one-run game, how many times have you heard that baseball is a mental sport? Right? Like this is a this is a one-run game against a really good team. Why are you not trying to win the game in the eighth inning? I don't like that to me. What does that say to your team in the dugout? Like, I know that everybody likes Kyle. We all like Kyle. That's not the place for him to pitch.
Yeah.
It's not. You can't make an argument for it. I know you could say, oh, Tyson Miller, he pitched an inning 2 days ago, guys. He pitched less than 30 pitches 2 days ago. He could have thrown. There's no question.
I thought it was 2 innings.
The good news is they can hear us.
I agree with you.
It was an inning and a
Michael,
third.
I did not kick the plug out.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to the roadcaster.
Again, it was the internet trying to mute me, which I will not allow. My takes are too hot.
I, in general, also agree with Kevin. Like, I don't think we're wrong about anything related. Like, if the Cubs were in a position today where they probably were going to have to use him, considering the situation, considering it was a bullpen day. And if you were going to have to use him today, it should have been earlier in the game. You even said on the couch, Kevin, why not use him as an opener?
I always felt like opener was the best.
If you're gonna bring him out, if you're gonna bring him out of the bullpen, and you knew that today was gonna be a bullpen day, then just freaking use him as an opener.
Use him in the first.
Let him give you an inning, and then bring Brown in. Right? It's like basically the same scenario that you said. I don't know, man.
Corey's right. It is a mid roster, and he only has so many options. But there is positions for Kyle to be used. And in a one-run game that you are trying to win, that you have a chance to win a series and go in that, a one-run game versus a three-run game going into the bottom of the ninth inning is astronomical for a team that can't hit the ball. You probably, if you're down one in the bottom of the ninth inning, there's still a psychological effect that you can win that game. Yeah. Kyle coming in and giving up 2 runs. I mean, we saw that second run go across. We knew it was over. What do you think they were thinking? You know, it was not the place for him. I know he doesn't have options really there, but Porter Hodge and Tyson Miller, both better options in that situation. It's the first time all season that I disagree with Craig.
It's just one of those things. Like I said, if you're not going to go, not necessarily all in, but if you're not going to sign that extra starting pitcher, if you're not going to sign or trade for that big bat to go into this lineup that I think can be really good, then play the young guys, man. Play the young guys. Let's see what they got. This team they have the second best farm system in all of baseball, and they aren't playing the young guys. And you said the other night, Luke, that they hired Counsell because he's been able to kind of put these guys together and put them in the best situations to succeed and all this stuff. And it's like the PCA thing, whether that's a Jed thing or, along with Craig, whatever, like, maybe today is a bad example because I really just in general hate the idea of bringing Hendricks in there in that 8th inning. But it's been like a thing for a year and a half now where it feels like, okay, they called up a guy, but then they don't play him. Luis Vasquez, again, been here since Tuesday, 1 at bat, and it was in the 9th inning of a 9-2 ball game. And Porter Hodge, he's been here since last Friday. He's been here for almost a week, and he makes his Major League debut yesterday. And he looked great. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I understand like situations and you don't want to put too much pressure on a guy, but like if you're not gonna be more than just a mid team, if you're not gonna put together just more than a mid roster, like Corey said in the chat, then play some of these guys that can give you an extreme boost that can make your team better than what people think.
And as Corey's saying in the chat, and we've been talking about before, yes, none of us like the position that Kyle Hendricks came in, right?
Right.
but they still only gave up 3 runs in the game, even with him doing that. The bottom line is they're not scoring enough runs.
Right.
You can't score 1 run a game or no runs and hope to win against the Atlanta Braves.
And it's largely...
You got to show up and score runs.
That was largely what the homestand was. Like, you had great pitching this entire homestand, and you lost 3 or 4 of the Pirates, and you lose 2 or 3 of the Braves.
This wasn't Skeens. This wasn't Sale.
Right.
This wasn't Fried. This was a guy who was giving up 3 home runs a game in AAA.
Think about that. You missed Chris Sale and Ronaldo Lopez in this series.
You were
you
playing
still
at
lost.
Wrigley, and you couldn't hit a home run against this guy.
So
you haven't hit a home run in a week.
Right.
Yeah. Miguel Amaya, your last homer. Yeah,
I mean,
I will say, you know, today they probably should have at least had 1 homer. I feel like whatever was going on in the sky or whatever, like Morel hit the ball hard multiple times to the warning track, and it's like that ball looked like it was gone. But
I couldn't believe the one didn't get out. Yeah,
the one where the outfielders collided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I smoked that ball over 100 miles an hour, still caught at the track.
Like
it's tough luck sometimes.
While there's plenty of frustration for the offense, rightfully so, there were also moments where it's like, God, we can't buy a break. Like the Yan Gomes would have been double if it didn't hit the top of the left field wall. Like you actually put together a decent at bat in that 5th inning or whatever. And of course, the ball just goes foul. And it's just like, it's annoying and frustrating because it's like sometimes you feel like the players are putting together some decent at bats, and it's like, okay, can you get the big hit here? And then Morel's hitting the ball to the warning track, and then the 2 players are colliding, yet they still catch the ball. Or Yan Gomes is hitting the top of the left field wall that is literally 1 or 2 feet from being a fair ball. Like you can't buy a break right now. At the same time, on top of the fact that your offense just in general just has not looked good. It's a culmination of all of that. So
if there is a silver lining,
they need to on this flight to the boring city of St. Louis, I don't know, man.
Make them drive.
Drive. Freaking do anything.
Hey,
wear your pants on your head. I don't know.
By the way, you drive to St. Louis, you get to see the Got Pork billboard. James Colstock, while Cody's getting ready to tell us about our friends at Lucy Nicotine, James says we have Mastro, Madrigal, Amaya, Gomes, Happ, Bush. He's like, how are we going to score some runs? And I don't totally
Mastro's not
disagree
here.
with that. I was reading that, and Kevin scrolled away from it, so I can't finish it. But anyway.
My bad. We have Mastro, Madrigal, Amaya, Gomes,
Thank you.
Happ, Bush, and Nico as offensive liabilities.
Where's
Nico,
the beef,
Nico,
pork,
Nico and
whatever.
Happ are not
Pork.
offensive liabilities.
But even the thing with Nico,
the other 4 are.
thing with Nico is that even his at bats today weren't great. He popped out the first base, one of his at bats with a guy on base. We can't sit here and say that he hasn't been nearly as good as he was last year to this point in this season. The defense is even kind of taking a step back, but is he better than putting Nick Madrigal out there? Yeah, okay. And maybe he was playing through a nagging injury. Whatever. I don't know. To me, he does have to be better though. That's for damn sure. He has to be better. And he had that hot stretch from mid-April and all, but I know I got to read
I'll
ads.
sugarcoat it in a second if you want me to.
Lucy Nicotine. I'm going to need a ton of this to get through the rest of my day. All right. And I will, because I can get it delivered straight to my door. All right. It's 100% pure nicotine. It's always tobacco free. You can choose your form, pouches, breakers, or gum. 2 milligrams to 12 milligrams. This is the strength. All right. Some of the flavors include mint, apple, ice, espresso, mango, and more. Save yourself from the weekly gas station stop and sign up for a monthly subscription, saving 15% off. No commitment. Cancel anytime. There are pouches, the nicotine pouch, the Lucy Breakers, they're the nicotine pouches, but with tiny capsule inside. Capsule contains liquid flavor that saturates the pouch before it is even in use. Break with your teeth, get it situated, and boom!
Mango.
Instant nicotine release when you need it. And honestly, I'm gonna need a ton of it. All right. There's a lot. It's a lot more. Some of the other stuff, includes different. Actually, I'm reading the wrong thing. Sorry.
Well, berry citrus.
Berry
My
citrus,
buddies are
yes.
like, man, have you tried the berry citrus?
Right.
Boom, that flavor hits your mouth.
One of their customer reviews: best nicotine pouches I've found. Feel and taste great. Couldn't be happier with my monthly subscription. You too can be that same person. Just level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/CHGO. No, slash CHGO. Or no, and use promo code CHGO to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That's lucy.co and use code CHGO to get 20% off and always free shipping. Sorry for that little bit of a mess up there at the end.
Listen, the bottom line,
having a day.
Bottom line is you get the berry citrus, you get the mango flavor. It's discreet.
Yeah.
It shows up and gives you that little extra.
The fact that you can get it delivered to your door just
right
changes.
door.
I feel like I'd be like I get anxiety going into like public convenience stores and maybe and buying stuff like that.
Going to the gas station every week.
People judge.
You know what? If you're looking for easy and convenient, Lucy provides that. So does CD1 Price Cleaners. Low prices. Customers save over 30% on their dry cleaning bill by switching to CD1 Price Cleaners. Simple, transparent service. Other cleaners charge a different price for every garment type. Plus, they have upcharges, as you may pay a different price every time you visit. At CD1 Price Cleaners, it's all in the name. One low price, any garment. Yep, even your sports jerseys. That's right. Even your Bellinger jersey, even your Suzuki jersey that you might have, even that Shota Imanaga jersey you might have, and it's a fast turnaround too. They'll either get it to you same day you dropped it off or the next day. That's it. Other places take 4 or 5 days to get you your dry cleaning or your fold and wash laundry, whatever it might be. Boom, they crank it out, and then they send you a text alert when it's ready. So you're not sitting there at home guessing, is my stuff going to be ready? Is my stuff ready? Is it when should I go pick it up? All you got to do is look at your phone. They send you a text message. Come get it. It's ready. Wide variety of services. Dry cleaning, wash and fold laundry, blankets, comforters, tailoring, alterations, leather cleaning, and area rug cleaning. Visit chgo.cd1. That's ONE.com. Link in the description here. Once you're there, you can pick from an in-store coupon or online pickup and delivery coupon options. We're looking for positives, right?
Need to dry clean all my jerseys. Maybe that'll switch up the vibes.
Dry clean the stink out of those jerseys. That's what the players ought to do right now.
Yeah, they should. I'm telling you, wear something inside out on the flight to St. Louis, like anything.
Rally hats on the plane?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just don't wear shoes. I don't know, like just anything. Do something. Do the old Joe Madden. Everyone wear the.
I was gonna say it's about time for a Joe Madden costume party.
Yeah,
on the plane.
like let's wear onesies. All right, like I don't bring out the giraffe, Craig. I just something. Get something going on offense, man.
Kevin, hit us with the super chats, and then I'm going to make you feel better about what's going on.
All right.
I highly doubt it, but
the Westland Eagle. Sorry about the format here. Trying to get the Sunnyside thing in there. Super chat, $5. The Westland Eagle. Patrick Wisdom is the home run god. 14 AB per home run.
14 home runs
per at bat.
Yeah.
Or a home
It
run
works
per
that way.
every 14 at bats.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And
Thank you for
from
the super
Chris
chat.
Boucher, $1.99, hitting a much bigger issue than the bullpen. You are 100% correct. Right at this moment in time, you are correct. Yes.
I went to school with his buddy Bobby. His brother
Boucher?
Bobby. Bobby Boucher. He was our water boy. All right. Are you ready for this?
Hit me
The
with
Cubs
it.
are still over 500.
Yep.
Despite the misery of watching that homestand.
Yep.
They're still over 500. These are teams that, have losing records right now in Major League Baseball. Diamondbacks, 24-26. Went to the World Series. Oh, Rangers, 24-26. Huh.
Just got swept.
What do they have in common? The World Series. Astros, 22-28. Blue Jays, 22-26. Giants, 25-26. And team we were a little worried about in the offseason. Gordon Wittenmeyer told us, watch out for the Reds. 20-30. It could be worse. It's not great, but it could be worse.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I kind of said this stuff yesterday,
Right?
and I don't want to repeat myself. Like, you are looking at it with a bigger picture, a little bit more perspective.
I'm trying. It was a tough one.
I appreciate you being that person today instead of me, because I couldn't do it 2 days in a row. And someone tweeted at me today saying that my optimism seems like I'm sick or something. And I need to check my temperature. And like, again, the record is better than what it was at this time last year. You just got if there's anything that I just don't find acceptable is the fact that you lost 3 of 4 to the Pirates. And maybe the Pirates are better than what their record is right now. Maybe they'll be a team that is better as we move along. Maybe they're this year's Reds with that pitching that they have. But their offense stinks, and whatever. I can deal with losing 2 or 3 of the Braves, as annoying as it is, because the Braves are just better than the Cubs. They just are. But losing 3 or 4 of the Pirates on this homestand is just unacceptable, man. It is absolutely unacceptable.
I said that because I'm Captain Positive. So I was just pointing out things could be worse. Now, if you want me to go back to being the grumpy old man, here you can go. They could have been swept this homestand if it wasn't for a lame-o high chopper in extra innings that scored a phantom runner, or what was the other one they won?
Struggling MVP.
Oh, no. A play at the plate that may not have been safe, but was called safe.
Yeah. Swept the entire homestand.
They could have been swept the entire homestand.
The only lead they had in this Braves series was
walk-offs.
The walk-off.
On the walk-off.
Win.
They never led other than the walk-off.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
That's the grumpy old man in me.
They were
firing back.
They were also gifted some bad defense from the Braves in the first game too. Mm-hmm. And it happened again today with Albies losing the ball in the sun, and the Cubs couldn't capitalize off. You had Bellinger coming up because Saya's the one who hit the ball. You had Bellinger coming up. You had 2 guys on, first and third. What's he do? He freaking pops out. So again, I know. I said earlier, I feel like I have to give Bellinger and Saya a little bit of a leash here. They've been a big part of why they even won games.
And they will be fine.
And I do think that they will be fine.
They will be fine.
But we're seeing what this offense really looks like when those guys aren't producing runs. So
it's terrible. I mean, look at the numbers. Let me pull them back up. When those two are struggling, this is what we had. I mean, this is for the last month at least. The Cubs are batting well below league average, and I mean, and those guys were banged up, and you didn't have them. And now you have them, and they're still not hitting. So it's basically like they're not there anyway. And look what your result is. I mean, it's ugly right now.
No,
but
exactly right.
It happens. You lost a series to a really good team. If there's a silver lining here, god damn, Ben good again, man. And you lost to a team that's way better than you. That happens. That's baseball. That happens. You didn't get swept, and Ben Brown looked great.
How did we spell rankings in that graphic?
Did I spell it wrong?
Hold on.
Oh, my God.
RENKINIGS. I didn't even see it the first time. I'm watching it the second time like, wow, my vision is terrible. I know my reader's on, but what is that word?
Back up.
Yeah,
that's fine. Whatever. Don't let the facts or spelling get in the way of a good story.
That was the same guy who screwed up the mics, so that made that graphic.
Right.
So I don't know who did that.
I'll tell you, it wasn't you.
No.
As somebody pointed out in the chat,
never my fault.
It's the problem with the cicadas. They're getting to all the wires.
Oh, my God.
The cicadas are getting to all the wires, and they're screwing things up around here.
Okay, after today, we don't have a show for what? Well, at least I don't have a show for what? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. For 4 days. I am going to in these 4 days, I am going to find the cicadas.
Well, yeah, you're going south. He's going southern Illinois. He'll be eating cicadas by the time
southern Illinois, except for people up here.
By the time you get back, you'll have eaten 1,000 cicadas probably, or you've been carried away by them.
You know what I heard? If you find a blue-eyed cicada,
oh yeah, they're worth something, huh?
Yeah. So if you find one, Cody, split the pot with us.
You know what? I actually had on spring break in the year I turned 21. We used to get 2 weeks off. My buddies and I drove to Padre Island, not South Padre. Somebody got a deal on a house in Padre Island. Totally different situation, not that close. And it was like 60 degrees. Anyways, we had this little place on stilts, a block from the water. It was infested with cockroaches. And so when I went down to tell the people at the front office, hey, we've got cockroaches all over a room, they're like, oh, we know. And if you see one that's over 3.5 inches, come get us. Don't kill it because we're in a contest for the biggest cockroach in Texas right now.
That is not a real story.
True story. They didn't give a spray or anything. And I mean, these suckers were like...
oh, my God.
And they were everywhere. People were sleeping on the floor in this place, and it was just like... You looked on the side of the refrigerator and the stove, and it was just little whiskers looking at you everywhere. Monster cockroaches.
Where'd you sleep? Did you sleep in the house?
We got a great deal on it. When you showered, you showered in calf-deep water in a tub. It was that had a window that faced the parking lot. So if your buddies were in the parking lot, you literally could be soaping up and waving to the people in the parking lot. That's how you do it, college style. Now let me tell you. Now that's a deal. But if you want a deal on a good vehicle,
Oh God.
make
Tell
Ray
me about
Chevrolet your
this.
first draft pick for your new Chevy this May. Visit our partner to shop their Memorial Day savings event going on right now and all month long at Ray Chevy on Route 12 in Fox Lake and raychevrolet.com. As one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, you're always able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. Plus, you can find the perfect tailgate vehicle right now, $10,000 off MSRP on a new 2024 Chevy Silverado, or lease the new 2024 Chevy Trax for only $199 a month for 36 months. Or celebrate Memorial Day your way and shop over 125 of their vehicles priced under $20,000. And if you've heard of the Ray Chevrolet, then you've also heard of Ray's Price Promise. What is it? That's their guarantee to make your next vehicle more affordable than ever with no price changing, no add-ons, no hidden fees ever. That means the incredible prices that we're talking about on this podcast, you can expect to see the same prices when you shop Ray Chevy in-store or online. Shop the Memorial Day sales event the rest of the month by visiting Ray Chevy in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive and start driving to some of these events because we've got stuff going on, guys. This summer is going to be packed with CHGO Cubs events, okay? Yeah. Starting on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday. So you got Memorial Day on Monday. CHGO Cubs Watch Party presented by Blue Moon coming up this coming Wednesday at Real Time Sports in Elk Grove, Mid-Suburban League neighborhood.
Ryan's hometown,
Cubs Brewers. I was born in Elk Grove, so I feel like, that's important. Friday 120 Club comes up on Friday against the Reds. Yep. Bragg's back in action. Start at Murphy's, get the ticket yourself, show up, party, get the shirt, all those good things. And then we have the Crosstown Takeover coming. June 4th isn't very far away now. Yeah. Cubs Sox at Wrigley Field. All the details for all of this stuff at allchgo.com. Make sure you check it out because we have so many activities and events going on. It's hard to even keep them straight.
I believe for the Crosstown Takeover, we'll be in like the 400 section.
Beautiful.
But we'll definitely pregame somewhere beforehand, and it'll be if you came to our takeovers last year, it'd be a lot like that. But yeah, Cubs Sox should be fun.
Just remember, last time it happened, I sat next to Herb Lawrence, CHGO Sox, and I said, Madrigal, your old guy, he's about to hit a home run. Next pitch, home run. And then I said, hey, Herb, Morel's about to walk it off here. 2 strikes. He's not going to. There it goes, Herb.
I sat next to Corey, and he goes, "There's no way this is happening. I don't believe. We're just so it was the greatest moment of my life. Negative Cub fans. It's not happening. There's no way." I'm like, he's gonna do it. Smoked it. That was the high of last year.
Yeah.
Maybe we get that again.
We got a couple minutes left. Is Ryan ready?
Yeah, he's here.
I guess.
Beautiful story. Well, it was probably a dejected clubhouse getting ready to go get on a plane. I'm going to guess guys weren't too excited about talking, but Ryan joins us in a beautiful floral pattern shirt along with the CHGO gear. And so if there's anything we can be positive about today, it's that Ryan has a nice looking shirt. Ryan, what did they say after the game?
Another loss when he's wearing a nice shirt.
Oh, that's true. I didn't bring that up.
I'm going to come up with something for you, Cody. I'll come up with something. They are winless when you go on the road, though, so that streak's still on.
That's fair. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Milwaukee takeover, who knows? Of course the offense was bad today, right? Like they had 2 hits. I think one of the common things talking to Council, Nico, Bush, post-game was that, they just didn't. I mean, this guy he's the Braves' top prospect, so he's not like Max Fried level. It's not exactly at the level of the guys they face, and it just continued to the offense slumping. One of the common themes again was just didn't hit a ton of hard hit balls, and then when they did get those hard hit balls, they were caught or found gloves or they were on the ground, whatever it was, just not producing on offense. And the guys will say like they still believe in the group. They're slumping right now. They're not. It's not fun to go through a slump, but that they still believe in the group. they have a good month-ish of baseball to begin the year where the offense was clicking, and they believe they can get back to that level. But at the same time, it's just like it's now been a few weeks of them not playing at that level. And so, yeah, it's just tough to see. And one thing I know, we see it in the chat, we see it in the Discord, see it on social media, like the fans are angry for sure. And I think one thing that I like that Nico Horner had to say is that they understand the frustrations, especially on the offensive side, of them just not doing enough to win enough ball games. And he said that he'd rather have a fan base that reacts so strongly and holds them to a higher standard than a fan base that just doesn't care or is apathetic or whatever, right? So I think it's a good point that these guys get it and they're trying, but at the end of the day, it's on them to get back to the level or a level close to where they were at in April offensively when, now in the last month or so, they're one of the worst hitting teams in baseball. It's tough to see, and these guys get the frustration from the fans.
Cody started the podcast by saying, man, I can't imagine what Ryan's feeling like in that press box or what the players are feeling.
I just wouldn't even know what to ask.
Was the mood? I predicted that it was probably a little bit like dog days of summer, that guys are kind of quiet and frustrated. And that you're probably frustrated by asking the same questions, and they're getting frustrated by answering the same questions.
Yeah, well, when it's kind of copy and paste from day to day as they're going through, especially the last, week and a half, 2 weeks, facing. And one thing that they do point to is just the strength of the starting pitching they're facing, right? And that's a good point. They have since going on that road trip the first time, or I guess start Pittsburgh or whatever. Like they have faced some really good starting pitchers. Again, I say the guy they faced today, he's one of the Braves' top prospects. He's probably not at the top of that list, but he is a good pitcher. But I will say, I think the counterpoint to that is, these are the guys. If you make it to the playoffs, you're facing good pitching every single night, right? That is the counter to that. So you can make that point, and you can be. And that's a reasonable point. That's a good point to make. But you do have to figure out how to hit these guys, because those are the guys. If you make it to the playoffs, those are the guys you're going to be facing anyway.
You get to talk to Kyle Hendricks after this one.
We did not get to talk to Kyle Hendricks after this one. I did, however, ask Craig Counsell post-game what went into the decision, obviously, to put Kyle in right there in the eighth. Craig said that he thought the team pitched well today, but there is a game tomorrow, there's a game the following day, and Kyle, as a member of the bullpen, he's going to have to cover innings, kind of do his job, serve his role, help guys out down there. Knowing with Ben Brown starting today, obviously it was going to end up he's not stretched out really to go. They're managing his workload. They got to be careful with that. He did pitch like 3 days ago, 40-something pitches or whatever. So there was the point where they had to take him out and go to Wisniewski. And, Wisniewski, honestly, outside of the home run, which is I think it was on a bad pitch, he pitched pretty well too. And then Luke Little comes in and he pitches well. So, but as far as, with Kyle, it was a bullpen game, and they just got to a point where those are the innings that Kyle Hendricks had to cover. If he's going to be a member of the bullpen, he's got to cover some innings, and then be some bad pitches in the heart of the zone, some bad misses, like the one to Ozuna. I think Cody, you tweeted it. I don't know how that ball didn't go out either.
Well, that was in the first inning. The Ozuna, very first ball that Ozuna hit in the first inning was hit 103 miles per hour, and that ball somehow didn't even get to the warning track. So I don't even know what the wind conditions were there today. People on the radio, they said that it was blowing out.
Yeah, but the flags looked like they were blowing in off the lake.
It must have changed.
They were kind of changing a lot. But no, so that Ozuna one that Talkman caught literally at the Ivy, I think that was a changeup heart of the zone that probably should have gone out. And I was surprised that it didn't. But yeah, so just overall, that they got from what Council said, like, they got to the spot in this bullpen game and knowing, guys are down, guys pitched yesterday or the day before, and they're not available, and knowing you need guys that can pitch tomorrow and the day after and whatever, got to a point where Kyle Hendricks was the option, and gave up a couple runs, and obviously the offense, once that happened, it kind of seemed over, just the way the offense has gone the last few however many games. But yeah, that was the spot where Council decided that it came down to that. It's Kyle Hendricks, and he's got to execute here, and he just didn't.
Should we get to who you got?
Doesn't matter. No one freaking deserves it.
Because Cubs get ready to hit the road now. Games against the division all coming up. Who you got? And this is a pretty easy one. I picked up a W heading into these kick off the holiday weekend. I had Hap. Guy had a walk and the only extra base hit of the game.
Yeah,
that's an automatic winner right there.
Yeah, no question.
I mean, this one isn't a whole lot to discuss about it. I did have one more question for Ryan, though. Have you seen any cicadas in the press box, Ryan, or at Wrigley Field?
I haven't seen one, but I could have sworn I heard one the other day.
Yeah,
I could have sworn I heard
like the
little buzzing. I just didn't know where it was. But
it could have been Bruce Levine's microphone, because sometimes that's a little buzzy. Buzzy.
I got one thing for Ryan. Did
yeah?
you get to talk to Ben Brown at all, Ryan?
We did.
Ben Brown?
We did, yeah.
Where's his confidence at? Because, man, he looked great today. And I think that's going to be lost in this game just because the offense was so bad. But Ben Brown's been in the bullpen. He started. He's back in the bullpen. He's a high-leverage guy. He's a low-leverage guy. I mean, he's been all over the place. And today really did a nice job in 4 innings.
Yeah, I mean, I would say after today, his confidence is very high. Taking down a good Braves lineup with good hitters. The knuckle curve was on it. I don't know if I've seen it look better than it did today. Yeah, confidence level is definitely high. He talked about it, and enjoying. He one thing he actually talked about, and you mentioned it, as far as like he's kind of his role's changing every day. Like he's starting sometimes, or he's relieving a few games in a row, and then comes back in to start, whatever it is, and just going through the process of that. And I think one of the things that he appreciates is the coaching staff and obviously Craig Counsell at the head of that, trusting him in higher leverage relief moments, or trusting him to cover a bunch of innings effectively, or to go in and take the ball to start a game, and just try. Like, it is hard. It is hard. Like Javier Assad did it last year, or the year before, as far as bouncing back and forth between the bullpen and the rotation. And Hayden Wisniewski's another guy that's done it so far this year, along with Ben Brown. It's a hard job when you don't know exactly what your day's going to look like day to day. But yeah, I think Brown, obviously today gives him a lot of confidence, but being able to do that, have the success, and know that he's got the confidence, that the coaching staff has a confidence in him to do that job, like that just instills even more confidence for a guy who's, I don't know, what is he, 23, 24, like first 2 months in the big leagues, and just having success in that role. Like, it's, as far as confidence goes, like I don't know how you build even more than that.
All right. Thanks to everybody that joined in. Ryan, thanks for all the work at Wrigley Field. And we're back with our next
Tuesday. Well,
Corey and Brendan have one on Sunday.
Yeah, they're going to recap Cardinals, Cubs. And
then we're back on Tuesday. We're off for Memorial Day.
Before we go, I would just like everyone to know that St. Louis smells like piss. They're a terrible city. And Miles Michaelis, I hope the Cubs offense finally wakes up against you. You are the biggest clown in all of baseball. That's all I have.
And also, enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Have a safe Memorial Day weekend. Again, if you're allergic to shrimp, don't eat the cicadas, because you have similar problems. And
I love our chat, man.
Be very careful with the cicadas out there. Don't get carried away by one, and don't eat too many. If you're into, maybe you're doing a cicada boil for the holiday, make sure that nobody is allergic to shrimp. That's our public service announcement.
Also, I'm going to try and tan my freaking wrist this weekend.
Dude, I have the same thing on mine. I'm going to try to do the same
This
thing.
is my Apple Watch tan line for anyone who's wondering, who's watching on YouTube. Like, my Apple Watch, if anyone knows, like, if you have, like, your storage is full, like, I don't know how to remove shit off my Apple Watch. Like I've been trying to do this. For
I can
like
help
2
you out
weeks.
with that. I know a lot of technology.
You know nothing
stuff.
about technology, Luke. All right.
Our closing song has already played and restarted.
That's right.
Oh,
Thanks for
yeah.
watching, and don't forget, fly the W. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.